Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Moon, Serena, and it's me, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver, Amy here, and today we are proud to be Irwin Toy Dolls. And I know nowadays that is not, something that a lot of folks like to be proud of. Nowadays a lot of folks will, bring up all the things that are wrong about the Irwin toy dolls. Like, oh well, they look too beautiful, or their hair looks too straight or something. You know, and folks will say, oh well, they don't look anything like that. Doesn't really look at might scave them on those grounds. You know, but yes, at the end of the day, I'm truly happy, with being a Irwin toy doll. Because these dolls, you can't get anywhere else. They don't make them anymore. And unless you're lucky, the only way you can buy them is either from Etsy or eBay or Overstock or Angie's Craigslist or Angie's List or Overstock or Deal Dash or whatever. You know. And a lot of folks, you know, I do like being an Irwin toy doll. You know, and a lot of folks nowadays will bring up all the other dolls that are other Sailor Moon dolls being made by Bandai, and they'll say that those ones are more good than these ones. Well, alright, see, that's a belief. You know? You know? And, at the end of the day, it is what it is, I'm happy to being an Irwin toy doll, And if anyone wants to know when these ones were made, most likely would have been 20YL or 2001YL. That's my only guess when these ones were made. And it's really cool to be a Irwin toy doll, and I'm happy with that. So many folks, there are a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership who are against, or don't like the Sailor Moon, don't like the Irwin toy dolls, or scave them for being too beautiful or something like that, or not being or not look or still not matching up to how they look like on the show or whatever. And a lot of folks like to scave the early Irwin toy dolls, the ones that were being made from Irwin, which were being offshooted from the Bandai ones, but it is what it is. I like being an Irwin toy doll, yeah. Well, yes, Sailor Moon, yes, Serena, you are right. I too happy with being I too is happy with being a Sailor Moon Irwin toy doll. Yes, it's true that Irwin is no longer around anymore, and the only way you can ever buy these ones is from eBay or Etsy or Deal Dash or Overstock or Craigslist or Angie's List or whatever. You know, and it's just these dolls here have a high sale fee or worth on whatever website you choose to buy them from. But at the end of the day, I like being a Irwin toy doll. I like, having those stands, having the shape shifting sticks that, well, I don't, why have them when we're already shape shifted, And I think this is as near as you get to the way we looked like in the drawing show, at least for the first two followings of it, And, I do like, the boxes. Yeah, I mean, I didn't keep any of the boxes. I threw them away. but I did like how the boxes looked. And I did like how Irwin made us look as near as they could get us looking offshooting from the show. You know? So at the end of the day, I'm happy with being a Irwin toy doll. You know, being made by Irwin Toy, which is no longer around anymore. You know, and some folks in the Sailor Moon followership either like Irwin Toy, Sailor Moon dolls, or they don't. But we're happy with being from that. You know, happy with that. So it is what it is. Now I know there's going to be some folks out there that are going to bring up, oh, well, Bandai made the Sailor Moon Eternal or Sailor Moon Forever dolls, you know? Yeah, and I have seen them being sold, at least on interwebs. I have seen folks give their thoughts on it. But at the end of the day, these ones are the ones that we like because that's who we are. Well, you're right, Sailor Mercury. You're right, Sailor Quicksilver. You're right, Amy. At the end of the day, we're happy with being Irwin Toy Sailor Moon dolls, you know. Happy to be made by Irwin Toy, which at one time was the oldest settled land toy making business. You know. And that's it. You know, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and we'll see you later.